Hello everyone, this is Devang. The weekend is over, and I am back from the Shadows of Brimstone Wave 1.5 pickup in Seattle. It was a fun time. There were several things to do and see there. There was a demo table for the Frontier Town expansion, where you could do a shootout in the streets. There was a demo of the new upcoming Tradara Otherworld. Jason Hill was showing off some of the upcoming new models for some of the mission packs and whatnot, with vampires and werewolves and things like that. And he was also giving some discussion on allies and some of the new characters. Scott Hill was showing off some of the artwork of some of the upcoming enemies, such as the Crimson Hand. And of course, people were unboxing and assembling miniatures as well. There was a really nice, food buffet to snack on. So let me show you some of what I saw and what I heard there at the pickup. And I'm going to just point out that we were asked not to do too much or talk too much about some of the upcoming stuff that has not been finalized yet, so like Tradara. So I don't have anything specific to show about Tradara, but at the end of this I will talk a little bit about what I saw. So relax and enjoy.
I think we did play this. Turn it on, go piano player. Comforting presence.
Yep, we got one more guy coming over shortly, but I'll get you guys all set up. Have you guys been playing much yet? I know you guys said that you need a little bit of a refresher.
Super popular. Been sending out a lot of distributor orders and such for them. So
It is unusual for new characters.
there's a lot of people that have created doors.
The allies. So the allies are something that are kind of how's it going? So the only thing that I would say is that I've got a level 5 rancher and a level 3 lawman.
All right, so you know how this rolls. Unfortunately, we have some errata coming for the rancher, which you're probably not going to like.
Yeah, I thought you felt a bit overpowered.
We're topping it out at 3 extra shots.
Damn it!
Or that power triggering 3 times.
Right. So no more
you
mopping out
can't
hell
clearly
bags.
clean an entire room just by yourself. You might need to let somebody else go. Gunslinger is also the one that's going to take a little bit of a nerf to his quick draw ability, and specifically to his quick draw ability. The first round of combat, if you have a free hand.
Sorry, did you set the hero card somewhere for the other ones?
Oh, yeah, I got them. One guy. Sorry, just a second to get him a hand.
He just let you search through the entire thing.
Yeah, no, I got 3/4 of the way through. Actually, Daniel, who's the blonde-haired guy walking back over towards, he's in the group right there in the portrait. He's our 3D sculptor. And so he does renders, and then we go ahead, we take them, and we send them in, and they send us back like a prototype. And then we actually make silicone molds. Silicone molds of it, and then we pour on the rest of it. And we got like a vacuum chamber and everything. So we got the whole thing going on. That's, in fact, the corpse piles, the darkstone, and the, well, not the gunsprint, but the corpse piles and the darkstone. Shards. We all did those in-house.
That was kind of the plan, but when we do, it'll probably be in an expansion that kind of covers how to level up beyond that, and then also how to change your enemies and maybe new enemies that would be more appropriate, or new missions even that are more appropriate for going beyond level 8. Yeah. So it's kind of like that really late game play, which I mean I think is really cool and people will be excited about it. But for now, it's kind of like, well, try all the different heroes.
to get there first.
Yeah.
And then how about the campaign game? Is it gonna be a
Well,
hex crawl? Is that
there is, and I think that to a good degree, the mission packs are going to fill in a lot of those gaps that people are excited about. The mission packs are more than just missions. It's kind of story-driven adventures. So I think people are going to be excited about that. And there's six new mission packs, each that focuses on a different kind of theme and a different enemy group, and they're going to be pretty exciting. There's a lot of stuff we're packing into those mission packs, and like I said, it's definitely more like little story arcs than it is just new missions. So I think people are going to be digging that.
they string together as well, or they're individual standalone missions?
Well, each mission pack is kind of meant to be a standalone story arc, but it's actually very modular, so that you could play the same mission pack a bunch of times, and it would be totally different every time you play. Yeah. So it's more like, do you want to sit down and play a vampire mini campaign, like a vampire story arc, or do you want to play a werewolf story arc? And of course, you can, it's not really intended to mix and match the mission packs, but you could easily string them together one after another, even though they wouldn't necessarily affect one another. It would still feel like an ongoing campaign.
Okay, and that is a quick overview, kind of what we saw and what was there. So let me just, I guess I'll start probably with the from the front to back here. So we had the town expansion. There's some really cool stuff going on, not just with the town expansions, but the town missions, of which there was a demo of a shootout. Now I did watch a few turns and actually filmed a few turns. So I've got a short little video that I will be linking here that has that video of the couple turns of the town shootout, where you'll see a little bit of the mechanics of cover and a little bit of the mechanics of the rooftops. Not a lot. I didn't want to bother the folks too much, but enough to give you an idea of kind of the cover there. And how the town shootout works and the placement of enemies, which is all very, very interesting. Looks like that will be pretty cool. And that's just one of a number of different types of missions that can happen in the town. Next is Tradara, was the Tradara demo table. So the basics of the Otherworld Tradara, and again, I just want to stress, this is all subject to change, so don't take this in stone. They're still doing some final playtesting and tweaking of the Otherworld mechanics. But as of what we saw at the demo, the Otherworld, special ability that it has is it's a battlefield, so you can scavenge tiles extra times. And if every time you fail a hold back the darkness roll, you get a patrol token. And then you have to make a test, which is basically something similar to the number of patrol tokens plus the number of players, and you roll some dice, and you need to get above that value. So as you go along and fail to hold back the darkness, and of course the larger your party, the more likely you are to get discovered by a patrol, and it triggers an attack. So you'll get attacked just simply based on time, depending on how well you hold back the darkness. And some of the Tradara has a couple decks unique to itself. It has its own unique scavenge deck and their encounter deck, and so some of the encounters and some of the depth events will add patrol tokens to the patrol token pile, so it increases the chance of you getting discovered. So that's pretty cool. There was also the mechanics for obstacles being placed on the board, and they had actually the cool obstacle miniatures, some casts of those, which were cool, some barrels and dragon's teeth and things like that. And basically, right now, at least for Tridara, there are square borders between squares on each map tile that have a number on them. And when you draw your map tile card, it says how many potential obstacles there are. You roll to see how many you get, and if you get any, then you're going to roll a d6 or a d8, depending, to figure out which spot the obstacle goes on. And that actually was pretty nice, and it actually gave me a reasonable way to consider incorporating that in regular gameplay. Certainly, with the core sets and everything we've got right now, we've got those barrel and crate tokens that you can use. So, using similar principle, I think an interesting house rule, I'll have to try it, I have not yet, but I was just thinking about it, was simply roll something like a d6 minus 3, and that's the number of obstacles you get. So 50% chance not having any, and then 1, 2, or 3 obstacles. And then you just kind of roll, you roll a die to say, is it on the horizontal or vertical lines, and then you just roll another die to see, to count left to right or top to bottom, however you want to do it, of which vertical or horizontal line that particular obstacle gets placed on. Obviously, re-roll repeats. Simply put, covers, basically if you're attacked over an obstacle, it gives you cover, which is before you roll defense, you just have a 4+ save. You could certainly modify that to have some cover better than others, so 4+, and then some might be 5+ or 6+, depending on how powerful you want that cover to be. And it also costs an extra movement point to cross over an obstacle. So obstacles can in the mines could be useful, and there's an interesting variant that you can use. That was pretty much the majority of what was in Tridara. They've got a number of different Tridaran troopers. They've got Tridaran lieutenants and scouts and things like that that all have different special abilities. Some of them are mutated and some of them aren't. One of the cool things that we were told about was that they have there's a chance to have a special weapon unit with Tridaran troops, which means, and there's a couple different types of Tridaran special weapons. There's a flamer who actually has a flame template. There's a machine gunner. There is a what else is there? There's a force field that provides kind of a mobile cover in this radius around the team. So that's pretty cool, and it can ricochet shots. Again, all that's still being tweaked and play tested, so the mechanics may change a bit, but that's pretty cool. Talking to Jason about sort of that in particular, I know Gavin in his Facebook in the Brimstone community post had mentioned that they were thinking about making miniatures for them. Right now, they are simply tokens, which makes sense. They're trying to get all of the Kickstarter stuff done first, but it certainly would be cool, especially having seen the canon for the Lost Army. It would be cool to eventually get these Tridaran, special weapons. So having a Tridaran machine gunner team as a miniature would be pretty cool. But regardless, they are pretty cool ideas for varying them up. And of course, the Tridarans have some special abilities as well. And I like that Flying Frog's been doing that. They're giving, kind of like the Serpent Men tribes, but now even if you see my unboxing video for the 1.5 stuff, you'll see, the undead outlaws have a specific. They've got a group of gang cards, which gives them their gang a special ability. The town Frontier has some actual infamous outlaw gang cards, which means it's a different outlaw gang. Well, which means you're facing, you may face, an outlaw gang, one time, and it's going to be a little bit different from another outlaw gang. Not just because of the dice rolls, but because they may have some different abilities. And I like that they're doing that. They're including these armies, these cards, to make these enemies be a little bit different every time you face them, or give them a little bit more variety. So. That's kind of the basics of what was on the Chidara table. Let's see. We also had the tidbit of info that they're planning, or at least considering, an errata for the Rancher and the Gunslinger's quick draw ability to basically limit the number of times those abilities can be used in a certain fight or with a certain frequency. So, the Rancher, they said they were thinking three additional shots total, so you can't just clear the board. And I can't recall the specifics of what he said with the quick draw. I think it was something similar where it's only going to apply to once per fight, at the start of the fight or something like that. Although don't quote me on that. I don't remember as much about the Gunslinger because my wife is a Rancher, so I was paying more attention to the Rancher and making sure I understood what he was saying there. I don't have any Gunslingers with me that are playing, so I apologize, I did not pay close attention, but just expect that they are considering doing something specifically to reduce the effectiveness of the Gunslinger quick draw ability. And then, of course, we heard from Jason answering a few questions about the level cap of level 8. They want people to, when they get up to level 8, to start trying new heroes and continuing to play the game that way, and sort of fully exploring the breadth of the game. But they are certainly aware that going beyond level 8 is something that people will want to do. And so in the future they are looking at an expansion for level 8, going beyond level 8. And he had some good reasons why, to try to keep it under level 8 initially. For you're restricted to only having one level 4 ability, for example. But certainly they are looking at the possibility of an expansion that allows heroes to go above level 8, maybe introducing some new, higher level epic-y kind of enemies, beyond epic threat cards or what have you, and how to possibly increase at least some of the enemies to scale beyond level 8, which all makes sense. All makes sense to me. There needs to be some sort of finite scaling, especially at this early stage of the game. So, and then he was speaking about the campaign, an official campaign, and basically it's not something that they're specifically looking at doing, is making one big campaign right now. I mean, they've certainly got a lot on their plate as it is to finish up, get Wave 2 out, and things like that. So they are, Jason was talking about how the mission packs are very thematic. They're all very story driven. It's a number of missions in a row, on that story arc. And there's a bunch of mission packs. So you could string a couple mission packs together. Although, they're not specifically designed for that, but you certainly could do something similar along those veins, or do multiple ones, multiple mission packs to get some of those story arcs and make it very campaign-like. So, which I think is a good kind of compromise for right now. Obviously, we want them to get all the rest of the Kickstarter Wave 2 stuff done before they work too much on anything new. So And the game's, honestly, it's a dungeon crawl where I know I'm having fun just going in every week. It's still telling a story, even if the story does not affect necessarily other things every time he goes into the mines. It's but it's Joseph Scott's. You can't tell me he hasn't had some sort of story going for him. And speaking of Jason as well, I do have a very short video with Jason talking about the new upcoming allies and sort of some of their basic abilities and thoughts and kind of how they're planning to have them work, as well as a little bit of information on some of the upcoming new heroes, such as the Wandering Samurai and things, and some of them. So, take a look for those videos. I will have links here in this video to all of those from the Wave 1.5. Trying to break them up, keep them from being too long. This has already gone pretty long as it is, with a lot of it just being me talking. So I will let you all go. I had a lot of fun, met a bunch of people. Thanks a bunch, everybody, and a great thank you to Flying Frog for throwing the event, giving us the demos, giving us information, keeping us up to date. Oh, and I should mention one last thing. I did ask about Wave 2. I know people are all interested in it. Heavy caveats that there are things that are out of Flying Frog's control. As we saw, so there's some production issues and transportation issues that sometimes crop up. But right now, they are very optimistic that the timeline's still good. That end of the year they will be starting Wave 2 going out. So. Cross your fingers. Flying Frog is working hard to try to hit that, but obviously there are things that are out of their control, and hopefully none of those happen. There may be a little bit of slippage, but that they're still optimistic. They're still on target as of right now for end of this year to get the rest of the Kickstarter stuff, Wave 2, out to backers. That's it, folks. Catch you later.